Welcome to the Sypnotix. I'm Alex, and today we have a video that I really haven't done since the early days of Sypnotix. It's been a few years since I've done a video like this, and it's essentially me telling you everything you need to know about how the Google Pixel Watch works. I actually received the Google Pixel Watch from Google right before I went on a trip to Canada for a week, so I did get to spend a lot of valuable time traveling with the Pixel Watch on my wrist. So it's the perfect timing. So if you like videos like this and you want to see more of it, definitely hit that like button and let me know. Also hit that subscribe button because you're not going to want to miss the full review. I'm not really going to talk about my opinions on this watch or anything until the full review, even though I kind of know what I'm going to say. So without further ado, let me show you guys how the Pixel Watch works. Alrighty, here is the Pixel Watch. As you can see, I have a watch face with my dogs on it, and there is a bit of a bezel around it, but the screen is pretty nice. I do like this so far. Colors are also pretty decent. And this particular watch face I uses Google Photos. You can curate some photos that it just rotates around with the time and the date. I do like this. It's really cute seeing my dogs pop up on here. You see that little lock button? You also can set a pin or also a pattern to unlock just like your phone. So I'm going to actually type that really quickly off camera. And there you go. It's unlocked. There was a little clicking sound and now that lock is gone because this is now on your watch face as it was before, and now you can actually interact with it. So this is the actual interface of the Google Pixel Watch. It's very simple. And if you've used smartwatches in the past, or Android Wear specifically, you'll be pretty accustomed to it. If you drag down from the top, you do get a quick settings menu that's very similar to Android. There is a crown here that's basically a ripoff of the Apple Watch, and I'm not complaining. Actually, that is a very solid way of navigating. You don't even need to swipe on the screen. You can actually just pull down on the crown, and you can get your settings there. And it's basically standard Android stuff. You have your Google Home, airplane mode, flashlight, your wallet, your display. If you're familiar with Android, it is all here. And also you can click on the settings from here as well to go into the deep dive setting. Connectivity. This particular watch also has a slot to put your SIM card, your nano SIM, so it doesn't need to be tethered to your phone. I currently do not have a SIM in this watch, but they also do sell a Wi-Fi only model. Google sent us this one with the LTE version, so that is pretty nice that we have that here. You can also do your Bluetooth and your Wi-Fi from your settings menu right here, and it does have NFC for payments, which I did use today. I'll show you the wallet in a bit. There are gesture settings that you can do, like tilt to wake, touch to lock, touch and it goes dark. You flip to wake it. Basically, these are all smartwatch features that have been around for a long time. These things work pretty well, although the flip to wake isn't the smoothest in like day-to-day actions. Before I move on to the other panels of this watch and how it operates, I wanted to also show you guys how you change your watch face. So like a lot of watches, basically hold down for a little bit, for like a second or two, and then you can also see that it pulls out into this little sub menu where you can choose your different watch faces. You can also change your watch faces on the app directly, the actual Google Watch app, Pixel Watch app. But you can also edit these watch faces directly on this watch or through the app. Although I have found that it's actually easier to edit through the app. It seems a little easier, and I don't know. I just find it to be more customizable on the app than it is here, but there are things you can change here. But overall, there is a decent amount of customization for you to kind of figure out what you'd like to see on a daily basis. Originally, I was using Pilot Bold for a while. I did like this until I just kind of fell in love with having the photos and rotate seeing my my dogs. So, you know, this is pretty fun for most people who like customization. Then, if you pull up from the bottom, and same thing again, you can use your crown to pull up. It's basically a navigation using the crown. You can see your notifications. So as you can see, I pull up and I have my notification, which was a ring notification. If you click on it, it kind of expands a little bit here. You can see a photo. You can open it on your app or whatnot. Same thing with text message here. As you can see, my home panel was armed. So that's a text message. So this is actually perfect. This is a text notification. And as you can see, it actually displays it really well. One of my biggest gripes with some of the Chinese smartwatches was that the font and the way to display the actual text messages, the SMS and MMSs, weren't too good, and the Apple Watch was really like the king of displaying text messages. They do it really well. But you can see here, it's actually pretty good. I like, even though it's a round watch face, that it doesn't crop off too badly, and the way that you scroll through it is actually quite clean. So I am actually very happy with this. Like, that's a good amount of text that you can read in a legible format here too. So props to Google there. That is not easy to do. So if you swipe left or right, that will take you to some menus that will be on the phone operation. So this watch uses the Fitbit app to keep track of your fitness stuff. So as you can see, this is a step count. And then if I swipe again, my heart rate, I have it set on auto, so it's going to constantly measure my heart rate throughout the day. You have all these exercise modes. We see these on smartwatches and also on fitness bands and things like that all the time. Very similar stuff. You also have sleep tracking using Fitbit, but I personally don't like wearing my watches to sleep. I will test this out at least a couple nights during my full review, but your data will be here. And then this is your calendar. So you have basically your Google Calendar locked on here. Swiping over, you have a weather widget, so you can kind of see what the weather is like. It's 59 degrees and cloudy right now. You swipe one more time. I'm actually going to blur this out, but this is maps. So you can actually click search, and you can kind of see where your recent searches are. And also, just in general, you can actually type in or check the maps of where you want to go. It's pretty neat to have Google Maps on your watch here. Let's have it load up really quick. So as you can see here, I actually have the full Google Maps on here. I'm going to pull all the way out so you guys can kind of see the map. It's loading. So yeah, it is pretty nice that you can actually use a Google map on your watch. So if you're on a walk, on a hike or something, you can kind of see your location, which is pretty nice, especially if you have it on LTE independent by itself. So if you pull over back to the right side, then you are back over to your homepage. It just goes in a cycle. It's left to right, right to left. It's just one linear path. And you can actually customize which one shows up where. On the right side of the watch here, you actually have two physical buttons. You see this button right here and also the crown. They're both buttons. If you tap on the right one, on the top one, it'll take you to your recent apps. So as you saw there, I clicked on it, and now we have apps that I've recently clicked open. Now, if you click on the crown, press on it once, it'll actually take you down to your apps. Like, this is an apps list. This could be done a little better, but it's just basically all your apps listed from alphabetical order all the way down. There's actually a Play Store, as you see here. You can actually access the Play Store on the phone app. Once again, the Pixel Watch app, and you can actually download the apps through that as well, and it'll push it to the phone, push it to the watch. That's a little easier, once again, because this interface, while not the worst, it is easier to search through the App Store on a phone. It is a little easier and nicer. So as you can see, you can download Line, you can download all these things, all these different types of apps. Obviously, there's not as much as there is on the Apple Watch. But in general, this is a good step forward. Like, I've used watches with absolutely no apps on them, and having at least some functionality from these apps that we use on our phone on your watch directly is a nice thing to have. So that is very cool. So if you tap on the crown once, it'll always take you back to your main watch face. So it always goes back to your home screen. Now, if you tap on the top button, it will always take you to the recent menu, no matter where you are on the watch. So like right now I'm on the Play Store, I tap again, it will always take me to the recents. The crown will always take you back to your main home screen, which is your watch face. Now, if we double tap, it'll open the wallet app. So double tapping the crown will open your Google wallet app, which you can load your credit card information. So right now I do have a credit card here. Using NFC, you can do contactless wireless payment, which I did use today. It works flawlessly, just like it does on other watches. So if you hold the top button, it'll boot up your Google Assistant. You can also tell it to open up by calling its name. I'm not going to do that on the video because it'll probably wake up a lot of your phones. But you can also set it to recognize your voice, just like a lot of your Pixel phones can recognize as well. All right, this next part is going to be a little tricky to show on camera, but I'm going to talk a little bit about the watch bands and also how you change them. So the mechanism that Google uses here is a little tricky to get used to at first. Like, I'm not going to lie. It took me like 15 minutes to get a hang of this. And even now, it's not like, it takes me some time to get used to it, but or get back into the hang of it, because I don't foresee myself switching these things out too often, unlike the Apple Watch. I'll talk about that a little bit in the full review. But this is an actual button here, so you actually have to press down on it. You got to do it on a certain angle, or it's kind of rough to get in on it. So you got to press down on it and then slide it to the right, and it goes over it and it comes off just like that. And you can see this is the actual mechanism here and how it works. So let's see on the bottom side, it is right here. There's also a button there. Click on it and then slide this over to the right side. So it goes over it like that and it comes off. So that is a little tricky. It's not the easiest thing. I'm not going to lie. It's not that easy to do. Even now, putting it back on is a little bit of a chore. You got to make sure you have the right orientation. And then once again, you see that button. That button comes into play really often. You kind of have to align it over it and then slide it just like that and it locks. So basically, make sure that the right side is over the button. Press down on it, let the button get smushed down, and then slide it through. That's basically how you have to get this on it. It's not the easiest thing. Honestly, I don't really like this mechanism. I think they could have done it a little better. Like, Apple has a great mechanism on the watch. So you see that? You slide it through. It's not that hard once you get the hang of it, but I still think it isn't that convenient to get off. I would have liked to see something a little easier. You saw I did it okay there, but sometimes it does take me a while. It's not that convenient to get off. So that's my 2 cents on that right now. I'll talk more about it in our full review. But in general, I do like the look of this watch and how like thin the profile is. It does fit pretty well. Also, I did buy an official Google Watch band. This is the Google Pixel band in this it's a scrunchie, basically. It's a scrunchie. It's essentially a expensive scrunchie that you can wear. So they have you measure your wrist, and I bought a medium. That was the right size for me. And I do kind of like this material. It is very smooth on my wrist, and it feels pretty nice. And just for a size comparison, here is a Fossil watch, smartwatch that I reviewed on the channel. I have a link in the description and also above in the annotations for you guys if you want to watch the full review of this watch. But as you can see, it is a little smaller than this. And I do like how this particular watch has kind of this watch bezel. That's the difference between some of the tech companies and also a watch company. The watch company makes a watch that is a smartwatch, while tech companies make tech products that become a watch. So there is a stylistic difference. What this watch does resemble is the Apple Watch. Like, there's no denying they made this watch to compete with this watch in terms of its functionality and the simplicity of the design. Like, I totally appreciate that. I'm going to talk more about that in my full review, but I did make a video earlier this year about why Apple won this smartwatch war, and nothing comes close until this thing came out. So I am so glad that this actually exists. But you can see stylistically, the Pixel Watch doesn't look anything like the Fossil watch or also like the Samsung Galaxy watches. It is definitely a Apple Watch for Android, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what I've been asking for, and as I showed you with the functionality, how the watch flows, there's a lot of similarity here to this watch, and I am all for that. And there you go. There's not much to it with the Pixel Watch. It's a really simple watch to operate, and I kind of enjoy having that simplicity. It's not complex. The menus are very easy, and that's also part of why we do appreciate how stock Android works on a Pixel phone. You do kind of have that feeling here on this watch. So I'm really looking forward to talking more about my thoughts about the Pixel Watch in our full review, so definitely come back for that. Once again, I'm Alex from the Sypnotix. I'll see you guys then.
So the other day, I was on a Zoom call at work, and I just dropped everything I was saying, and I told them, subscribe.